Hi, my name is Scott Reynolds. I'm the team leader of the Reynolds team here at Compass. And today I have a special guest, Brandon Barron, and with Vero Beach Custom Homes. He's the vice president of the company. And I invited Brandon because we sell a lot of homes. We've been doing a lot of new construction with you, and I just wanted to talk about what's going on in the marketplace and your business. And I get to see different sides of your business, but I don't get to see all of it. So
right.
Thanks for coming to the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
So just to give people like a perspective, give us a little background about you. How long have you lived in Vero? Where are you from?
So I've been in Vero for about 7 years. Came here right after school to work with my father. My dad's been involved in the construction industry for probably 40 years now. High-end custom construction, multifamily, anything you can imagine, really. And it's always been part of my life growing up, so it was kind of a natural transition for me to join the family business, if you want to call it that. We've been building here in Vero for about 10 years now. Only single-family homes, custom builds, that sort of thing. So.
I know I've had. I first met your dad, Avi, in 2009 timeframe, which was not a real sexy market time.
Sure.
And so he was building homes. We had quite a few homes that we were building with him, and then also built in Stony Brook. You guys bought a lot of lots over some time, there, and built there as well.
Yeah. Stony Brook was a great community for us. When you and my father met, I was still in school, but I just started spending time here and kind of getting used to the idea of moving here, getting used to the industry and that kind of thing. So, yeah, to say it wasn't a sexy time for construction is true.
But you guys survived all of that really well. As a matter of fact, one of the largest builders in town, actually, it was a compliment to you, told me that thanks to you guys that it made him raise his game a little bit, and he said it was a big compliment because the attention to detail you guys were able to give, and was building in some of the same communities he was building in, and he built in town for a while, and he saluted you guys. And
that's great to hear. That's great. Yeah, we're a smaller company than who I think you're talking about.
Yeah.
And because of that, it allows us to spend a lot of time on every build, on every house, and really analyze and really, spend a lot of time looking at things, fixing, fine-tuning everything, and giving our full attention to every build. So hopefully people can recognize that.
Yeah, the difference that the customers that I've referred to you guys, when you're doing it at a big scale, you have to have a sales team that's working with the individuals, and where you guys are really working with the individuals, and you're the ones helping them guide, through decisions and getting them in touch with your architect and your kitchen designer, and so I think that's somewhere where you're able to key in on, because they're dealing with the principals.
Right. Yeah, it's just my father and I doing all the supervision, all the project management. So. It allows our clients to have a lot of one-on-one time with us, and it's much more of a, call it an intimate experience where you're a lot more hands-on, and I think the product and the experience shows that.
Yeah, I remember. So my wife and I are building a home with them, and my wife was trying to explain, what she was wanting to do, and Brandon picked up right on it, oh, you mean like this, and pulled out his phone and showed 2 or 3 houses that he had done all the work on, which really made things click, because sometimes whether it's the husband or wife's trying to explain something, and if they're not understanding it, and you had a great way of intercepting that thought. So
yeah, and it's always great to have clients that really know exactly what they want. They have a clear vision. It makes the process much easier because you know what's expected of you, you know what you're supposed to deliver, and at the end they'll be happy because they knew what they wanted and they got it.
Right.
So it makes everything a lot easier.
And then, so you guys your father's been building for 40 years. I know you've been over here for building here with him. How long has it been, roughly?
I started spending time here probably in 2012.
Okay.
Coming in the summers. And I moved here in 2015.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So then, walk us through, like, one question that I had here is, how is construction, building a new home today, different than pre-COVID, building now versus pre-COVID? What are some of the differences?
Yeah, it's there's been a big rush in the past 2 years. So it takes a little longer to build a house, takes a little longer to get all the materials, and everybody's busier. But the type of client we're getting has been excellent. I mean, it's people who, I'll speak for us, most of our clients are recent retirees from the Northeast that either retired maybe a couple of years sooner than they would otherwise to get away from, all the things that were happening. They sold their home and they had probably had a lot of equity in it, and now they have a lot of money that they want to spend on their new home.
And they know what they want.
They know what they want. They're excited to be in Florida. They're excited to be building a new home. So we have a lot of really happy, really excited clients that it's great to build for, because they know what they want and they're prepared.
So just kind of jumping right into it, how do you, I know there's been supply chain issues, there's been labor shortages. I know a lot of your guys' story, but I think it's great, hearing it from you is like how do you handle the supplies shortages?
It's tough. I mean, you can only schedule around it. You can only do the best you can. From lumber prices skyrocketing a few months ago to, now we're experiencing limitations on how much concrete a plant will sell in a month. So trying to get your name on that list can be tough sometimes.
Wow.
But everybody that's building is experiencing the same problem. So you try to handle the best you can. You try to be upfront with your client. This is the scenario. This is the landscape, and here's how we plan to navigate it. And at the end of the day, you do the best you can, and that's what you can do.
But for the buyers that we're talking to that are building, a lot of times they're planners, and if they can forecast in advance, it's just now the energy efficiencies, the changing the house is kind of expensive, especially if they live in a home where they just would need to be a total redo. And now the standards that they're building homes with are like, the Florida standards adopted pretty quickly, but it's the standards now are, and the design has totally changed. I can look at a kitchen and 09.
Yep.
I can see a granite style and say, oh, that's 2000. I can even see the architecture in when Mediterranean was the super sexy thing.
Yeah, some of the first homes we did in Stony Brook, you can drive by and you can tell because it's yellow, it's tans, it's terracotta.
Yeah.
We don't really see a lot of that anymore.
No.
Now it's all monochromatic, white, gray, that kind of thing. So it's
my one interesting thing that with us, my wife has been just hooked in on this certain style of like starting with the black roof and people are like, that's weird. That's it's gonna get hot.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I love it. I mean, it's a new style.
Yeah.
But it's definitely trendy. But I like it. If I were to build a house, I would probably lean into that style myself.
Okay.
So when you guys came up with that idea, it was very exciting for me because
cool.
I'd already been looking at it. I'd already been familiarizing myself. So
well, and in 10 years, you'll probably be able to drive by and oh, that's 2022.
Probably be building a whole bunch of Mediterranean homes again.
Just like the gold. I still don't get it, but it's not my taste.
Right.
But we'll be able to look back and the gold handles and gold hardware was a certain year.
It was.
So then so you lived over in Naples and then you moved over to Vero Beach. And then you got involved in construction just because you were surrounded by it all the time.
Right. Yeah. From the time I was a kid, my dad would bring me around to job sites, and it's just part of my life. It's something I've always been familiar with. So it was an easy transition.
Okay.
It wasn't something I always thought that I would do as a kid and as a younger adult, but I'm glad that I did. It's been an easy transition. I've had my father helping me and teaching me. So
yeah,
it would have been a big opportunity to turn down had
Yeah.
I not moved here. So I'm happy.
And I know he's a good teacher.
He's a man of few words.
It's really clear.
Yeah, yeah, it's very direct.
But my customers have always liked working with them, and there's always situations that come up. You know, there's problems. That's just part of building, and you guys have always seemed like ready to jump in and resolve them when there is a problem.
I mean, construction, it's a complicated process. You know, there's tons of decisions. There's tons of things that can happen. So you really need to be direct. You need to be on top of everything because, if somebody's not, it can delve into chaos very quickly. So we try to be as clear as possible, as direct as possible, and establish a clear path and move down it, basically.
A shout out to some of your people that I've worked with. Just from working with you personally, I'm not saying this just to say it. The architect, we were in Colorado meeting with him over the phone and with Avi, and we had everything in front of us. We were able to work out changes. He gave us big recommendations, and we made those adjustments. And he simplified things, and that was super helpful.
Yeah, he's great. He's someone that's actually known my father longer than I have. So he's great. He knows exactly how to communicate with us, how to offer direction and advice. I mean, he's great. We've assembled a really, really competent team.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of our success.
And another big shout out was Candace, who is your kitchen. I shouldn't call her kitchen designer. She's really cabinet, and she's worked with my wife. I'd be embarrassed to show the email dialogues, but they have this email chain going back and forth on designing all the cabinets. And then she even went the extra mile and did a 3D rendering of the house. Because obviously it's not a model that we can walk into or anything. So she created a 3D model with our cabinets and our floor plan in it that really made it come to life.
Yeah, Candace is great. I mean, first and foremost, she's one of the nicest people I know. And I think she really enjoys what she does. And you can tell she never rushes you. She'll always offer advice, and it's excellent advice. I mean, she helped me with my own home, for example. So it's great. It really brings our homes to the next level when all the cabinets are cohesive. You have a lot of extra details, and frankly, it's a fun process too.
It is, and so just an example, Janice wanted spice racks to come out of the cabinets, and the normal ones were 6 inches wide. But then the cabinet guy got back with Candace and say they really need to be 9 inches wide because it creates me other problems somewhere else.
Sure.
And we were able to incorporate that into the design, and she was able to take the wet bar and show the wet bar exactly. We changed the wet bar like 3 or 4 times of how we wanted to configure the wine and the refrigerator and all of that, and the doing the butler pantry and all that with so that's just all those details of walking us through all that in a house we've never been in. Was very, very helpful, but that laid the groundwork so that we now know what flooring type, how it will look, and what the countertop, how to tie that in with the accents. And
Candace and our cabinet guy, it's a really nice relationship they have. It's very synergistic because he's building everything custom. So in our homes, you won't see really any wasted space, any filler cabinets, anything like that. Everything is built for your home to fit the way it should.
So he's making the cabinets.
Yeah, he has a woodworking shop and he makes everything himself.
That's crazy. That's
great.
Awesome.
Yeah,
they get made. All the cabinets get made somewhere, but you guys have someone making them for you.
Right. So we don't, like I was saying, we don't have any fillers because he can build the boxes to the nearest eighth of an inch, for example, and it really works. It really the kitchens look much nicer when they're custom.
Yeah. And something that I've learned through it all, I mean, they'll do metal roofs, tile roofs, shingle roofs. They'll there's nothing that you really won't do if that's what the customer is wanting.
Right. Yeah, at risk of overwhelming our clients with too many options, we always tell them, if you can imagine it, we'll do it.
That's been really helpful. And then at the same time, it sometimes can be overwhelming. And I know you could take over a little bit of the sales process and like, this would be normally what we would do. And this is how that room would lay out. This is how many outlets you need. And let me know if that's okay with you, if they're not good at making those decisions.
Right. Yeah, it's very difficult to imagine a space and how it'll function when you're looking at it on paper. So to have someone offering suggestions to you and guidance it makes for a much nicer process.
Again, personal experience. We found we're doing a mid-century modern home, and Janice was in New Orleans, and she found like an old door at a door place that restores the doors, and they're going to put it as our pantry door. She also found gas lamps in New Orleans, and we're going to figure out how to get the gas lamps here, and so it literally makes it like where you're building the house if you want to be that involved, and then they make it all right, just to oversimplify it. So, that's right. Well, I appreciate first of all, you making it out here. I know you're gainfully employed. And thanks for all the help that you do with our customers and let me bounce what I think is sometimes stupid stuff off of you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's great to work with you. So
thank
no
you.
problem at all.
If for just wrapping up, if people would like to, they have a building question or they'd like to talk to you specifically, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, you can reach out to me at my email. My name is Brandon at vbcustomhomesllc.com.
And then we'll put your email, we'll put your phone number all in the comments below, and I'll put my information below as well. If you have a vacant lot or you're looking at buying a lot, or we actually bought a tear down, and we tried to work with the structure, but they'll consult through the tear downs as well. So if there's anything that we could do to help, don't hesitate to call, and all of my information is below. Thank you again. Bye.